The people built that kid up to put him on my level. Once again, there will never be a fighter that's on my level.
Я був на тренуванні, у мене було тренування, вибачаюсь, будь ласка.
Floyd says fine. They go for the embrace. Referee Joe Cortez is not there. Boom.
Jay, will they turn into a nightmare here at Wembley? Big right hand from Usyk. Oh! And it's gone.
Floyd Mayweather doesn't just fight with gloves. He fights with his mouth. And this time, his words smack straight into Oleksandr Usyk. In a comment that shook the boxing world, Mayweather brushed off Usyk's legacy, calling him good but not great, claiming the Ukrainian was being hyped for things real champions have been doing for years. But Usyk didn't just take it quietly. The unified heavyweight king fired back with the calmness of a man who's fought monsters and never flinched. Sharp, steady, and cutting without even raising his voice. This isn't just two fighters trading words, it's two worlds colliding. On one side, Mayweather, the undefeated showman who turned boxing into a billion-dollar empire with defense, timing, and business genius. On the other, Usyk, the silent storm who rose from cruiserweight to rule the heavyweights with footwork, humility, and pure skill. What Floyd tried to frame as criticism, Usyk flipped into defiance, refusing to let his story be written by a man who never even fought in his weight class. This beef isn't just personal. It's cultural, generational, and global. And if you thought Usyk would bow his head, you clearly don't know Usyk.
The first undisputed heavyweight champion this century. Can Oleksandr Usyk pull it off?
The chase for the first undisputed heavyweight crown of the century is on. But it all kicked off with a classic Floyd Mayweather moment. Smooth, cocky, and calculated. When asked about today's heavyweight scene, Floyd ignored Fury and Joshua and went straight at Usyk. His words hit like a grenade in the sport. Usyk's a good fighter, Floyd said with that smeg, but let's not act like he's breaking new ground. He's not the first to unify, not the first to move up. And if he was American, nobody would be hyping him this much. No cheap shots, no cursing, just vintage Floyd shade, the kind that stings harder the longer you think about it. In one slick answer, he dismissed Usyk's rise, downplayed the praise, and slipped in the heavy race card, suggesting Usyk respect was more about politics than power. This wasn't just Floyd talking. This was Floyd drawing a line, daring anyone to claim greatness without his approval. Whether it was ego, strategy, or just Floyd being Floyd, the message was clear. And while most fighters would dodge the fire, Usyk did the opposite. He walked right into it.
Male Sport Boxing travelled to Spain to exclusively watch the champ in camp. He's looking better than ever, and you're about to see why.
When Usyk finally responded, he didn't shout, he didn't rant. He calmly delivered words that hit like a heavyweight uppercut. Through a translator, he said Floyd was great, but greatness isn't about money or fame. It's about who you fought and why you fought. I fight for my country. I fight for my people. I don't need to talk. I show it in the ring. No theatrics, no trash talk, just brutal honesty. And that's what made it cut deep. Usyk could have mocked Floyd's exhibitions or his cherry-picked fights, but he didn't need to. Instead, he reminded the world that his career isn't about pay-per-view numbers or flashy suits. It's about leaving his family in a war zone to defend titles. In one statement, he redefined what fighting even means. Not Vegas lights, but sacrifice. He didn't just defend himself. He put Floyd's legacy under a microscope. Because once you strip away the money and the perfect record, the real question is, who risked more? Who fought for something beyond boxing? That's the uncomfortable question Usyk forced everyone to ask.
Do you believe this?
Floyd Mayweather never speaks without a reason. Every jab, verbal or physical, has an angle. So when he went at Usyk, a guy who never insulted him, never called him out, and never even shared his weight class, it left one big question. Why? Some say it's Floyd defending his brand. Usyk's rise after beating Joshua was getting too loud, too close to GOAT territory. That alone could have triggered Floyd's need to reassert himself. Others think it's a business move, protecting his own fighters like Gervonta Davis by keeping the spotlight away from outsiders like Usyk. But there's a deeper layer too. Usyk is everything Floyd isn't. Quiet instead of flashy, scarred instead of untouchable, humble instead of arrogant. Mayweather is boxing as business. Usyk is boxing as sacrifice. One wears Versace, the other trains in trenches. And maybe Floyd sees that contrast as a threat, a reminder that fans are starting to admire a fighter who doesn't need showbiz to earn respect. His shots at Usyk weren't random. They were targeted, not just at the man, but at what he represents. Comparing Mayweather and Usyk is like fire versus ice, dangerous in different ways. Mayweather built perfection. 50-0, 5 divisions, untouchable defense, unmatched IQ. He made boxing business. He made fans pay just to see him not get hit. But Usyk is carving a legacy just as powerful, but raw. He became undisputed at cruiserweight, then stepped into the lion's den at heavyweight and outboxed Joshua twice. Not survived, dominated. While Floyd carefully chose risk versus reward, Usyk walked straight into danger asking for more. Mayweather's blueprint was control. Usyk's blueprint is chaos. Floyd built a brand. Usyk built a warpath. He doesn't care about headlines, crowd love, or markets. His legacy is carved in grit, gloves, and silence. So when Floyd tries to minimize Usyk, what he's really doing is protecting his own reflection. Because deep down, Floyd knows legacy isn't just numbers. It's sacrifice. And in that sense, Usyk's quiet story might already hit harder.
8 months, do this, walk, run, boxing, defend it, eat, sleep, blah, 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 blah.
Boxing has always been more than fists. It's theater, ideology, and identity packed into 12 rounds. And this clash between Floyd and Usyk ripped the curtain wide open. Floyd represents boxing as capitalism, where records are sacred, money is king, and every move is about empire. Fans either praise him for outsmarting the system or hate him for never giving them wars. Either way, he owned the narrative. Usyk represents boxing as sacrifice. No jets, no flex, just faith, family, and war. Purists see him as a reminder of what boxing once was, before it became a circus. Younger fans may find him too quiet, too real. But that's what makes this so big. Floyd isn't just critiquing a fighter, he's defending a model. And Usyk isn't just offending himself, he's standing for a whole different definition of greatness. This isn't America versus Ukraine. It's spectacle versus sacrifice. Floyd built an untouchable empire. Usyk fights like someone already touched by things far worse than punches. Fans now face a choice: boxing as a brand or boxing as a burden.
Easy. Easy. Too easy.
It's too easy.
Too easy. At 48, too easy.
There you go.
When the clips hit social media, fans went off like fireworks. Some defended Floyd as the sport's greatest strategist, the man who fought everyone and made boxing an empire. But most sided with Usyk. They praised his courage, his resume, and the calm way he clapped back. Suddenly, Floyd wasn't the undefeated king. He looked like an insecure gatekeeper throwing shade from the sidelines. On Reddit, fans broke it down fight by fight, showing how Usyk cleared out cruiserweight then walked straight into heavyweight danger, while Floyd never dared to leap into a weight stacked against him. Floyd fought smart. Usyk fights dangerous. One post read. Analysts joined in. Some said Floyd was just stirring headlines. Others believe he felt threatened by Usyk's quiet rise. Because when you spend years building yourself as a face of boxing, watching someone gain respect without flash or billions, that's a threat. Even ex-fighters sided with Usyk, calling him a throwback warrior. In the end, Floyd's attempt to control the narrative backfired. Instead of doubting Usyk, people started questioning Floyd. If you're still punching down after retirement, maybe the legacy you're protecting isn't as secure as you want it to be. This wasn't just a one-off quote. It felt like the start of something bigger. On paper, there's no fight to make. Floyd's retired. Usyk's a heavyweight. But boxing beef doesn't need a ring. It needs egos. And Floyd's ego is never far from a microphone. If Usyk becomes undisputed or beats Fury again, the spotlight shifts his way. And that's the kind of moment Floyd never lets slide. Expect more interviews, more subtle digs, more shade. That's Floyd style. Stir the pot, never cook the meal. Usyk, he probably won't respond again. He doesn't need to. His silence speaks louder than Floyd's loudest promo. But don't rule out the spilling over into camps, into side feuds, even into future promotions. Because in boxing, pride is money and legacies are fragile. What's clear is Usyk didn't just hold his ground. He flipped it. Now every time Floyd talks, fans hear him differently. Because once you come at Usyk and get that kind of response, the narrative no longer belongs to you.
My place is a ring. For me, when I step in the ring, it doesn't matter what's going on. Me, my opponent, and referee.
In the end, this wasn't just a war of words between two legends. It was a snapshot of boxing today. Mayweather, the architect of modern boxing as business, still try and play chess long after retirement. Usyk, the silent technician, refusing to chase fame, proving himself through weight classes and war zones with grit and grace. Floyd tried to shrink Usyk's story, but instead he made it bigger. He reminded everyone just how rare Usyk is, a fighter who doesn't need drama to demand respect. Floyd wanted to put Usyk in his place. Instead, Usyk redefined what that place even means. Floyd has perfection. Usyk has purpose. One built on never losing, the other on never fearing. And if Floyd thinks he can out-talk that, he may have just found the one man who can win a conversation without even saying a word.